So, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this webinar, and thank you, Skilling, for giving me opportunity for this webinar. So, to start with, I'll introduce myself quickly. So, I'm Suresh. I have around 9+ years of experience in C++ programming in software R&D. To be specifically mentioned, I'm from mechanical background and started my career with programming. So, in initial days, I also had some struggles to learning C++, and I practiced well for programming and algorithms, starting with small programs and then going forward with some projects. So I specifically mentioning this as to motivate all you participants. So regarding topic, so we are having session on pointers in C++ today. So we call it as pointers, core strength of C++. Why I'm saying core strength of C++? Yeah, you'll get it throughout the session. And the agenda for today's session is initially I'm not directly jumping to pointers because it has some dependencies and some prerequisites to know for all of you. I'm considering all participants or major participants are new to C++. So I'm covering it from basics so that everyone will be understanding the concept thoroughly. So I will be starting with class and objects. Then I will go with pointers in details. Pointers, we have a memory address declaration, dereferencing a pointer, and arithmetics on pointers. And then I will show how this will work in the code using some demo code. And then how the C++ is evaluated since its inception and till 2020. And then I will also discuss about scope of C++ and job opportunities around C++. So to start with, the C++ all works around classes and objects. Whenever you start learning C++, it always have to start with classes and objects. That is the crux of the C++ program. So what is class? So class is nothing but it's a blueprint. It's a generic structure. You can see in the image. So I'm trying to explain it through image and through some diagrams so that all participants can grab it. So what class is? Class is nothing but a blueprint which holds all the features and properties together. So here I explained through a vehicle example. So if we have vehicle as a class, so vehicle has it's a blueprint. We can't distinguish a vehicle unless and until we put properties or features to it. If we say truck, then yeah, we can have specific properties for the trucks. It's maybe in image you can see you can differentiate between all these three vehicles: cars, car, bus, and truck. So this is how class work. Class is a blueprint as a vehicle, and once we put properties to it, then it differentiate its own objects. So truck, bus, and car, we call it as objects. So I will explain the objects in the next slide. So just focus on class. Then further, car is also a generic blueprint or generic structure. So in car, it also we have different properties and structure. So we can consider class is also a inherited class from vehicle, which has some different properties. So to differentiate a car, we should have we have to set some properties to it. Then only we differentiate a particular car. So this is how classes works. So initially we have a blueprint or or a generic structure where we put some properties or features to differentiate the classes further. And then again, on differentiating that derived classes, we need to put few more properties to it so that we can differentiate a unique object out of it. So in at the right side, I have put a dummy code where in C++ we use this kind of syntax. But I will show that properly in dummy code, so you can ignore it for now. So as I explained, we have to create an object out of class. So how to create an object, that I am going to explain over here in this slide. So what are objects? So objects are created from class, and we call it in C++ language, you call it an instance of a class. So as I showed in the previous slide, that we have a car. Car is just a generic structure. It's a blueprint. So if we have to create an object out of it, we have to put specific properties to it. Then only we can identify a particular object. That is the instance. So car is a generic object, generic class, where we mention fuel. Fuel is a property. Model is also a property, and make is also property. So all classes have its own individual properties. If you set some values to that properties, it will create a particular instance out of it. So here in this image, we can see if we set fuel as diesel, model as X5, and make as BMW to this car class, then this out of these properties, there it will create an object of the car. So that object is BMW X5 diesel. Looking at this object, we can say that yeah, this is a unique object, or we can identify. So this has some reference or some value. If you say car, it don't have any particular properties. So how we differentiate car object and class? Class is just a blueprint. It don't have any particular values and objects. Once we set all the properties of a class members, then it converts to an object, and we can get a particular object out of class. So I think this is clear for now. What is object and what is class? So here at right side, I'm creating an object of car by setting up these properties. So simply, I'll get a my car object. So my car object is of type class car. So here you can see the type of the object. So this is classes and objects. This is just an overview to start with pointers. The next slide, I'll be starting with pointers. First topic is memory address. So before jumping into it, I'll just explain in real world example. If we say any particular individual has some unique address. Suppose any one of you has some unique address, maybe of flat number, apartment, area, and city and pin code. So it makes us a unique address. So everyone on the earth has some unique address. So everyone needs some address space to lie on the earth. So similarly, we consider in computer programming or computer science, if we have to hold some object, once we create an object, it gets an unique entity with some properties. So if we have to hold that object in computer memory, it has its unique address. So similarly, as you can compare with the real world example. If any individual has some address with some proper description or some address value or pin code, similarly for an object, we need an memory address in computer. So coming to this slide, then each object is assigned a slot in computer memory, and data is stored there. So as we say, if you create an object of a class, see at this yellow color car, I'm creating a my car object. So this my car object has to be there in some computer memory. Then only it is valid, or it is accessible, or it is what we can say. It is in computer memory, computer language. You can say that it has some memory slot in the computer memory. So memory slot needed for objects depends on its type, as different objects can have different sizes. Okay, so this is a little maybe the advanced line where it says if I say car has some different size, and integer takes some different size. So we can say like if area wise, suppose if some pin code has some different area in square meters, and another pin code has some different area in square meters. It depends on like how much area it needs. So similarly for objects, they have different sizes depending on how much properties or how much data we are storing in that class member variables. So don't get into that much details. To simplify this, I have made a diagram over here. Each block is a memory cell of 1 byte. Suppose I'm showing this address and location. So this address has 8 blocks. You can see it here. So each block has 1 byte. This location is just to indicate those blocks 1, 2, 3, 4 to 8. So now you can select location 1 to 4. That is this yellow color 1 to 4. It stores the car object, the memory. So for any object created in the program, it needs some memory, and it is stored with some address values. Similarly, if I say int number, I set it value as 10. So that number is stored in this address, blue color. So to access this number again in future or throughout the program, we should know this address. Then only we can access it. So this is how it works, memory address. Whenever we create an object or declare an object or initialize an variable in program, then it gets stored in computer memory at some particular address. Then this address can be used for accessing that variable throughout the program. So we So this the right end, we have this different stacks or different memory spaces available for the code, or for the code what we return of what we create an objects. So this is like advanced part of computer memory. You just keep this in mind, because this needs the extra one more session for explaining each one in detail. So just for now, just you can keep in mind this stack and data heap. So I will explain how this stack and data heap will be going to used in case of pointers. So in suppose this car and numbers are stored in data stack. So data stack has this kind of blocks, memory blocks inside, and each block has its particular own address. Using this blocks, this OS decides and keeps these particular objects created and add in the data stack or in data heap. It depends on how we initialize the object. So I will explain you this data stack and heap later. So how pointer is declared in the memory. So pointer is a variable that holds the address of some other variable. So variable or object, we can say other variable or object. So in earlier slide, we have created an object of my car class, that is my car. So that my car has an some memory address, and we need a pointer. That pointer holds the address of that my car object. So suppose here this yellow starting address is the location 1. There should be a pointer which is pointing to this memory address, so that we can access this my car object. So how to declare a pointer? So syntax is data type. Data type is nothing but the class name. So our class name is car, and variable name we can give any name to the pointer. Any name kind of it should state what that pointer is pointing to exactly, so that once you go down the line in the program, so that pointer name should tell you what is that pointer is exactly. So we should give some valid name to it. This is how we declare the pointer. Data type, this star sign. So after data type, this asterisk sign tells us that yeah, this is the pointer, and this variable name is name of the pointer. So few examples below. So this is the very basic pointers. Suppose we have to create an integer pointer, we write as integers asterisk p. So why and the p is a variable that can point to an int variable. Then similarly float star q. So q is a float pointer, and below is r is a character pointer. So this is just a declaration, how we can declare a pointer. So the main thing to remember over is this star sign. Star, we can call it as asterisk. So this asterisk sign differentiate between an regular object and a pointer. So you should not forget this asterisk while creating a pointer variable. So address of operator. So once we declare an pointer, and once we say that this pointer is pointing to a particular object, the next point comes is to assign the address to that particular pointer. So initially, once you declare int star p, it is pointing to some null memory. Null means it is not pointing to anything in the memory. You just have declared its name. So you have to assign some particular address to that pointer, so that that pointer is valid. So we use this address of operator, that is ampersand. We call it as a unary operator that returns the memory address of its operand. Operand is nothing but an object or variable. So with below example, you can get it properly. So if you say int x is 100, so this is just an variable. X is variable and its value is 100. So once you create this object in computer memory, it gets an address. Operating system allocates an address to it and stores that 100 at some particular address. So in this image, you can say x is the value is 100. In further, then I want to create a pointer which is pointing to x. So the next line, I say int star ptr equal to, I'm putting address of and then x. So what it does, you can see in the image, this ptr, why I'm saying ptr, it's a pointer. So this pointer is now pointing to this x. So this is address of x. ptr is nothing but address of x. So here what we created, we have created an object, or similarly we can create an object of car, my car, and then I can say int ptr, int star ptr. We can give it some different name, because it's that pointer going to point to the car object. So if I say int star ptr car, its pointer to car equal to ampersand of my car, with this previous example I'm referring. So this object is created, so it has some particular address. So if I need a pointer to point this my car object, then we can make address of my car, and then it will point, that pointer will pointing to that my car object. So in this example, address of x has some memory address over here. So that memory address is assigned to ptr now. Okay, so if we want to access that x variable, we can access to pointer. So I will tell you how to access the value that pointer is holding. Okay, so here pointer is holding the value of x. So pointer has its own unique address and it is pointing to x, so then that x has some value. So how to get the value in reverse way? Now we gone one way, like we have created x and then assign its address to pointer. The next part is, I want, using pointer I want to access the, so this is, we call it as pointer dereferencing. So this is the next part. Once we create a pointer, we want to get value out of it. So to access the value stored in the variable pointed to, we use the dereferencing operator. So what it is saying, to access the value stored in a variable, that is that pointer is pointing. So that, for that reason we use a dereferencing operator. The next is, a pointer must have a value before you can dereference it. This is the important point. You can't dereference without assigning a value to pointer. So that's why I explained you how to assign a value to a pointer first here, and then we are going for dereferencing it. So this sample code tells us, like integer a is 100, that is declaration. We have assigned a value to a pointer. Then int star p, so this is pointer which is pointing to this a, because we said address of a. So address of a assigned to a pointer. Okay, now we have pointer, we have a value, both we are ready. So this is the code to just print the values of variables. So if I say cout a, so it will print in the output window as 100, because value of a is 100. If I say cout ampersand a, so as I told, this ampersand is address of operator, so it will print the address of, so here printing the address of a, that is, you can see the address. The next line is cout star p, so this is dereferencing. So what is star p is doing, it is printing the value, the variable that is it is pointing to. So the below example will be easy to understand. P is here, address of p, 0x5f something. So this is address of, this address is value of p, and what this p is doing, it is pointing to a. Okay, and what we said for what dereference is dereferencing gives us value of the variable it is pointing. So here p is pointing to a, and if we say star p, then it goes to a and it returns us the value of a. So that's why if you do start p, it dereferencing p to print the value of a, so it will print 100 over here. So not to confuse with this dereferencing and this asterisk declaration of pointer. So I will quickly differentiate those for you. While declaring pointer, it should have its data type together with this asterisk operator, then only we can declare a pointer. It requires its data type. So int star together makes us the pointer, but in dereferencing you don't see anything. It just a asterisk sign and the pointer name. So this will differentiate, is it dereferencing or it is a declaration of pointer. This way we can differentiate and we can access the variable directly, address of variable and its value through pointer. So this is how it, declaration of pointer and dereferencing will work. So why you guys might be having a question that if you directly access the variable a, so why we need pointers? So that is a good question, and as I told you, different objects have different sizes. Okay, so if we create an object a, so we can't keep this object a passing throughout the program continuously, because it has a bigger size. But if a pointer, if we say pointer is a is a address. Address is nothing but integer. It takes a fixed amount of size in the memory. We pass it to a pointer and we use that pointer throughout the program so that it takes fixed amount of memory. And whenever we need that particular object, we can go to that object using pointer so that we can get that particular amount of memory, that bigger memory of an object using pointer, and then use that. So the pointer avoids passing the bulk memory throughout the program, always just passing the memory address with some constant memory. So that's why we prefer pointers. So how pointer arithmetic works? So pointer arithmetic works means we can increment a pointer, we can decrement a pointer, we can add a value to pointer, we can subtract value from pointer. So when we add 1 to a pointer, we add the size of pointing data type. It means if we add 1 to a pointer, it goes to the next memory address. It don't just add the 1 to the address value. Just it has power to go to next memory address. See here sample code. If your integer a with value 100, and we have created a pointer using the address of that variable a. So if we say x plus plus, so x plus plus will be, so if the address of a is 1000 in the memory, okay, so x plus plus will be at 1004 as data type is integer with size 4 bytes. So it is incrementing with those number of bytes using the size. So size of what? Size of the data type. So this pointer is of data type integer, and we are doing plus plus, so it is taking the size of integer and going to the next memory address, adding those memory bytes to this existing address. So if suppose if you have a car pointer, car star ptr car, so car might have a size of suppose 12 bytes. So if you say ptr car plus plus, then it will increment the pointer using 12 bytes. So it will point to the next memory address. So this will help us to iterate through the memory address or memory blocks. So we can simply go to next memory block using pointer arithmetic, or we can come back, or we can decrement pointer and iterate back through the previous memory block. So uses. So what is the use of this arithmetic? So the proper use is, if you have an array of integers. So you might might be no array. We can in simple language we call it as a continuous block having some is block having some value inside. So if you say integer x, and this square bracket tells us this is an array of this 10 size. So this is the basic syntax of C++. If you are not aware, that's why I'm explaining in detail sometimes. So this square bracket tells us this integer x is an array of size 10. So if here x is a constant pointer which contains the base address of the x. So if we say this is an array, then x itself is an pointer. It's pointing to the base address. Base address means the first location of the array. So if we do x plus plus, so what x plus plus will do over here, it will increment the pointer to the next integer in the array. So this will help us to iterate through the array and print the values using the dereference the pointer. So I have covered two cases in this sentence. First is x plus plus will go, suppose x is an array of 1 to 10. I will explain you over here. So suppose we have created this array. So this array has 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, okay, because we have a size of 10. So what x is just pointing to the first block of that memory, okay. So here x is pointing to 1, and if I want to iterate through an array, I want to print out all the values in the array, then what I will do is I will do x plus plus. So what x plus plus will do, x plus plus will go to 2 next memory address, and this is how you keep on doing x plus plus. Then it will pass throughout the array. And if you want to print the values, so if you do star for the pointer which is at that pointer at x plus plus, then it will return you the value. So x plus plus is nothing but address, but we want a value, okay. So if you do star and in bracket we put x plus plus, so it will first dereference. So this x plus plus will give us the value, the x current value of x, and then it increment it. So what it then next time it goes to the next next block, and it gives us the value for the next location. So this is how this per pointer arithmetic will help you to iterate through an array and print all the values without creating an object, or without just assigning, getting the putting, means we can access the array elements by putting its value or its index. We call it as index. Suppose we have x10 and I want a value at fifth of index. Then if you say x of 5, so it will return you the, and in C++ arrays are zero base index, means the index start with 0. So it will be 0 to 9.